A former Vegas hotel manager once told me that the room doesn't make us the money. The bill does. What did he mean by that? He was talking about a multi-million-dollar revenue stream that hotels hide in plain sight, using confusing names and fine print. This is not an accident. It is a strategy. In this video, we are exposing the 8 cleverest ways hotels pad your bill with charges you never agreed to. What are the code words they use for these fees, and what are they hoping you will never notice? After the 2008 financial crisis, Vegas hotels discovered something revolutionary. They could advertise low room rates to get you in the door, then make their real profit through mandatory fees you cannot escape. It was genius and completely legal. From 2009 to 2012, resort fees were introduced. From 2015 to 2018, parking fees were added. From 2020 to 2024, additional service charges appeared. What started as a desperate measure during economic uncertainty has evolved into an industry standard that generates billions in revenue. Hotels realized they could fragment their pricing structure, keeping the advertised rate low, while quietly adding fees that sometimes exceed the cost of the room itself. Let's break down these deceptive practices one by one, starting with the most infamous of all, the resort fee. The master scam of the hotel industry is a daily charge of $25 to $60 that supposedly covers amenities like wireless internet, gym access, and local phone calls, services that should logically be included in your room rate. The brilliant part is you cannot opt out, even if you never use a single one of these amenities. What makes resort fees particularly insidious is how they are presented. They are rarely mentioned prominently during the booking process. You might see a room advertised for $79 a night, only to discover at checkout that your actual cost is $139 per night after the mandatory resort fee is added. These fees are not just annoying, they are incredibly profitable. A single 3,000-room hotel charging a $45 daily resort fee can generate over $49 million annually from this fee alone. That is nearly pure profit for amenities that cost the hotel a fraction of that amount to provide. Even more troubling is how these fees are strategically concealed from tax calculations. In many jurisdictions, resort fees are not subject to the same high occupancy taxes as room rates, creating a clever tax advantage for hotels, while municipalities lose millions of dollars in potential revenue. It's hard to believe, but until around 2015, parking at Las Vegas hotels was generally free. Now hotels charge $10 to $40 daily for self-parking or valet services, even for their own registered guests. The psychology behind this is calculated. Hotels know most Vegas visitors arrive by car or rental, making this fee virtually unavoidable. What's worse, some properties automatically add parking charges to your bill upon check-in, regardless of whether you actually have a vehicle. The burden falls on you to prove you did not park there and demand removal of the charge. This is not just a Vegas phenomenon. The parking fee strategy has spread to urban hotels nationwide, creating a new revenue stream that did not exist a decade ago. Industry analysts estimate parking fees alone generate over $250 million annually for major hotel chains. Some hotels have monetized the clock itself. Want to check in before the standard 3 p.m. time? That will be an early check-in fee of $20 to $75, depending on how premium the property is. Need to check out after 11 a.m. Expect a late checkout fee that can range from $10 per hour to a full additional night's charge. What's particularly cunning about these time-based fees is how they contradict the hospitality industry's supposed commitment to guest convenience. Early arrivals and late departures were once accommodated as courtesies whenever possible. Now, they are strategic profit centers, deliberately designed to extract money during periods when rooms would likely sit vacant anyway. Some Las Vegas hotels have taken this concept further with guaranteed check-in fees. Pay an additional $30 to $50, and they will promise your room will be ready regardless of when you arrive. This effectively creates a premium tier for a service that should be standard, having your room available when promised. Today's hotel minibars aren't just overpriced, they are booby-trapped with weight sensors so sensitive that merely moving an item can trigger an automatic charge to your room. These sophisticated systems do not distinguish between consumption and inspection. Pick up a $14 can of nuts to check the ingredients, or move a water bottle to make room for your own items, and the charge instantly appears on your bill. Some sensors are so hypersensitive that even room vibrations from nearby construction or slamming doors can trigger false charges. The minibar trap is particularly effective because most guests do not review their bills line by line, and those who do spot these erroneous charges must invest time challenging them at the front desk. Hotels count on a certain percentage of guests either not noticing or deciding the hassle of disputing a $14 charge is not worth their vacation time. What's fueling this fire of fee exploitation? It is not just opportunism. It is corporate strategy developed at the highest levels of the hospitality industry. Major hotel chains like MGM Resorts, Caesars Entertainment, and Wynn Resorts pioneered these tactics because they discovered something disturbing. Customers rarely fight back. Hotel financial reports tell the story plainly. In earnings calls with investors, executives regularly highlight fee revenue growth as a key metric driving profitability. One major Vegas operator reported in 2023 that their non-gaming revenue, which includes these fees, grew by 12% year over year, outpacing room rate growth by nearly double. This strategy has created an arms race among competing properties. When one hotel introduces a new fee and faces minimal customer resistance, competitors quickly follow suit. What began as an experiment has become standard operating procedure because the financial incentives are simply too powerful to ignore. What's truly revealing is how these fees are discussed internally. Former hotel executives have admitted that marketing departments strategically use terms like enhancement charge, resort inclusion, and service supplement instead of the straightforward word fee because it performs better in consumer testing. The public reaction to these practices ranges from resignation to outrage. The internet is flooded with horror stories. One guest wrote that their $89 room became $200 after all the fees. Another guest said they felt completely deceived and violated. These are not isolated incidents. They are the new normal. Social media and review sites have become battlegrounds where frustrated travelers share their fee experiences. Reddit threads titled "Vegas Hotel Fee Warning" regularly receive thousands of comments from people detailing their encounters with unexpected charges. Consumer advocacy groups report that hotel fee complaints have increased by over 300% since 2015. Yet despite this growing discontent, the practice continues to expand because the financial math is undeniable. For every customer who vows never to return, many more simply absorb the costs as an unfortunate part of travel. Now let's continue examining the remaining fee schemes that hotels have perfected. Order room service in Vegas, and you'll encounter a fascinating array of supplementary charges. Beyond the already inflated food prices, expect to find a delivery fee, a service charge which is not a tip, a tray fee, and in some cases an additional convenience fee. These extras typically add 20 to 30% to your bill before you even consider gratuity for the person who delivered your meal. A $25 burger can easily become a $40 expense after all these additions. The strategy goes deeper. Many Vegas hotels have begun restricting or banning outside food delivery services to their properties. Security guards turn away DoorDash and Uber Eats drivers, and delivery personnel are often required to meet you in the lobby, forcing you to leave your room. This is not about security. It is about eliminating competition for their lucrative in-house dining options. Some properties have even implemented outside food fees charged to your room if housekeeping discovers evidence of delivered meals. The message is clear: use our overpriced services or pay a penalty. The promise of free Wi-Fi appears in nearly every hotel advertisement, but there is a calculated bait and switch at work. What hotels provide for free is deliberately throttled to frustratingly slow speeds, often 1 to 3 megabits per second, insufficient for video streaming or work applications. Want internet that actually functions? Prepare to pay $15 to $25 per day for premium or enhanced Wi-Fi. The technical capability for high-speed internet exists throughout the hotel's infrastructure. The throttling is purely a business decision to create an upsell opportunity. The genius of this approach is how it exploits modern dependence on reliable internet. After struggling with the free option for an hour, many guests surrender and purchase the upgrade out of necessity. Even more cunning is how these upgrades are typically set to auto-renew each day of your stay without notification. A one-time purchase silently becomes a daily charge. Some hotels have taken this further by implementing device-based Wi-Fi charges. The premium fee covers only a single device, and there are additional charges for connecting your tablet, your laptop, or a family member's phone. Many hotels now present eco-friendly options like declining daily housekeeping or reusing towels, framing these as environmental initiatives that also offer modest credits to your bill. The twist is this: they simultaneously implement non-negotiable housekeeping service fees or environmental sustainability charges that remain on your bill regardless of whether you participate in these programs. Decline daily room cleaning to save $5? You will still pay a $7 service recovery fee that supposedly covers the availability of housekeeping should you change your mind. This creates a perverse situation where guests believe they are making cost-saving choices, while the hotel extracts fees for services they are explicitly not providing. It is a mathematical impossibility designed to confuse, where declining a service somehow costs more than receiving it. Hotel ATMs in Vegas charge some of the highest fees in America, often $8 to $12 per withdrawal. These machines are strategically placed throughout properties, especially near areas where cash is required. More subtle are the credit card processing fees that mysteriously appear on final bills. These 3 to 4% charges, labeled as payment processing surcharges or transaction fees, are added to your total after you have already agreed to the room rate, resort fee, and all the other additions. What makes this practice particularly deceptive is how it contradicts standard retail practice, where credit card processing costs are built into the business model, rather than passed directly to consumers. Hotels have essentially found a way to charge you for the privilege of paying them. Some properties have refined this further, with bill-splitting fees for rooms shared by multiple guests, or account management charges for requesting separate folios. Every financial interaction becomes an opportunity for additional revenue extraction. Here is the truth, a former manager told me. These fees are not about covering costs anymore. They are about psychological manipulation. Hotels deliberately separate the advertised price from the real price to make you feel like you are getting a deal when you are actually being robbed. This strategy exploits fundamental aspects of consumer psychology. Research shows that once we mentally commit to a purchase based on an advertised price, we are likely to proceed even after discovering additional costs. Hotels leverage this cognitive bias masterfully, knowing that canceling after discovering the true cost feels like a loss we are reluctant to accept. The Federal Trade Commission finally stepped in with new rules forcing hotels to show total pricing up front. But most Vegas properties have found loopholes. The game continues. Some hotels now comply in form while undermining the spirit of transparency, displaying total prices in smaller text, or using language like "from X dollars plus taxes and fees," rather than providing the actual final amount. Others have simply created new categories of charges that were not addressed in the regulations. So there you have it, 8 systematic ways Vegas hotels have turned hospitality into highway robbery. These are not service charges. They are corporate greed disguised as convenience. The only way this stops is when enough people refuse to accept it. The industry's defense is predictable. These fees allow for lower advertised room rates, giving consumers more choice. But there is nothing optional about mandatory fees. It is a false choice designed to create the illusion of affordability while delivering the reality of exploitation. What can you do to protect yourself? Always ask for the total cost up front. Screenshot everything. Read every line of your bill. And remember, the service fee is not serving you. It is serving their shareholders. Contact the hotel directly before booking to request a breakdown of all potential charges. Use comparison sites that show total pricing rather than base rates. Keep detailed records of what you use and do not use during your stay. And most importantly, dispute every questionable charge before checking out, because it is much harder to contest fees after you have left the property. You came to Vegas to have fun, not to be someone's ATM. These hotels are betting you will not fight back, but they are wrong. If you have been hit with these ridiculous fees, drop your story in the comments below. Subscribe to help us expose more corporate schemes. And like this video if you think this needs to stop. We are on your side.